Good morning. You joined me from the top of a John Deere engine, just putting in some bolts. Figured you'd want to say hello. I got some pretty good progress. Got all the front assembly put back in. Got the cam, the lifters, all that put back in. Surprisingly easy to set timing. Should have showed how to set the timing, but it's fairly simple. You know, you have the camshaft, you have the injection pump. Then you have an intermediate gear, you have the crank, and you have another gear that connects. The two intermediate gears act like the timing chain in a conventional timing setup. Then you would have the oil pump and everything down at the bottom. Well, the cam gear, you put two lifters in, put two push rods in. Rotate the cam with your hand. When you feel them push rods go through a intake cycle and an exhaust cycle, and then come back down, that means your valves are closed and the cam is at a dwell point. Now you're going to rock between a point where the intake starts to open, stop, rock back till the intake starts to close, and then the exhaust starts to open. Find that dwell point in there. And then your crank. On these John Deere engines, a 6068 and its 4-cylinder and 3-cylinder counterparts, you're going to put the keyway on the crank straight down. When it's straight down, that means number one is on top dead center. So once number one's on top dead center, your cam is in a dwell point between on a power stroke. Your cam, or your injection pump on the side, is a small little inspection cover. Pull it off. You're going to line up the mark that's cut into the case and the mark that's on a spinning rotor. And when you got them lined up, that means you're on number one in stroke on the injection pump. And when you look, a gentleman from India, I'm assuming he's from India. If he's not, sorry. He's from that part of the world. But he used a wire around the crank and pulled it a string line. And when you pull the string line, all the marks will line up. And then on the other side, that's with the crank in top, with number one on top dead center, the injection pump lined up, and the cam on a dwell cycle. Have it all lined up in a V, and you know you have it right. You need to line up with a string. John Deere makes a special tool, but it's just a straight edge is really all it is. That's pretty simple. But I'll call you with an update as soon as I have one.